Morning, everyone. I'd like to open this Polk County Board of Commissioners meeting. It's August 24th. Extra agendas are on the back table by the door. Looking for comments not on this agenda. Come on up. And state your name and address for the.
Mandy Strauss, 611 South Rosewood Lane, Dallas, Oregon. So I just wanted to come back and just share for a few minutes. Oh, sorry. And just give a little background of who I am. And my husband and I have lived here for close to 15 years, and I grew up here. So after we got married and we decided this is where we wanted to raise our family. And yeah, so we have been involved in the special needs community as well as the foster care community for many years. And our hearts have always been such to want to help when we see people in need and being a voice and advocate for those in need. This last year, we experienced something very, very close to home with our own child, and it was very traumatic and awful for our entire family. With that, I was always raised by my parents to, if you see a problem or you see an issue, you don't just complain about it, you actually get in and help do the work to try to fix the problem. So that's where I'm at now as a concerned citizen in the community. And as I've tried to bring my concerns to the sheriff's office, as well as going and talking to other agencies, law enforcement agencies here in town, in Polk County, I'm just sharing some of the concerns I see on a particular issue that's affecting children that could be at risk for harm. So with that being said, I just wanted to share because I want to be very transparent and with you all that even though I may be not appreciated with sharing my hopes and desires of people getting more involved and learning more about a particular issue that's become more apparent in our society and community, that isn't going to prevent me from still advocating and wanting to find solutions to it. So with that, I just want to share two things that as my elected officials, I would love for you to just do a little homework research and learn a little bit more about them because they are doing good work. And with the DA's office upstairs, they, I just want to give a shout of kudos of their victim advocates. They are very aware of this particular issue that's been going on in society with girls, in particular through domestic violence and through teen dating violence and those issues. And they're aware of this one organization. They're aware of both organizations, but I have told them I will do the work to fundraise, to get funds raised to be able to bring the Training Institute on Strangulation Prevention to our community, to the MDT team. They have gone and done many presentations. They travel throughout the United States, but they were here recently in Oregon. In May, they were Clackamas County Sheriff's Office hosted them, and a lot of the agencies up in the Portland area attended, as well as some down here in this area. But Kaiser Police Department has hosted them, and they have got immense amount of resources and videos and webinars and things for the DA's office, for law enforcement, for community members to become aware that this is a big issue that's affecting communities in general, and we are not immune to it here in Polk County, as our family has experienced it personally. The other project that I'm trying to work with right now to help girls and victims in our communities is Project Beloved. It is a project that a mom started in 2017 after her daughter was victim of strangulation through sexual assault, and she now has worked with over 50 agencies throughout the United States, opening up. She took her anger and her grief and she poured it into creating a soft room for agencies to have. So when a victim comes in and they share their story, they come into a room very similar. If you've ever toured or seen Liberty House, their forensic interview room, which you'd refer to as that, but for the victim, it's a soft room. And when you walk in, you feel very safe and comfortable. You don't have to walk into an interrogation room where it's white and white lights. And so I have proposed that. Project Beloved, they do it completely free of cost. There's no cost at all for the agency. They bring in volunteers and they set up that room. All that's required is that there is a room, and then that room can obviously be used for a multi-purpose room for other things, but it's dedicated solely to doing interviews for victims or bringing in family members on a notification, death notification. You can use it in that such. I have proposed that to the sheriff's office, and that's been declined, but I will continue to work and advocate to have this. Kaiser Police Department is the only agency in Oregon at this time that has a Project Beloved room. Beloved, yeah, Project Beloved or Beloved. And so right now, Kaiser, they've had theirs for a couple years, but it's a beautiful room. So I can tell you firsthand from experience to walk into that room compared to walking into a room where you feel like you're being interrogated, and it's a world of difference. So, so with that, I just want to be transparent with you guys as my elected officials that although things didn't go the way we had hoped for our daughter, this is what we will pour our energy into as a family, because we see the need for it, and we see that there's both of these subjects or areas of are things that we need much more awareness on a front as a community. We're not immune to it, and frankly, we cannot just dismiss it and just say it's just what happens, because that's not okay. If you're a parent, I think you all would feel the same, that you would want your child. I can't say enough about their victim. They are good people, and they have training and expertise in these areas. We have been very happy with how they take a trauma-informed approach to addressing, very tough subjects.
I'm sure you've already reached out, but Sable House does a lot of work with victims.
Yes.
And also advocacy in the court system to make sure victims are not re-traumatized in that process of
Yes.
criminal justice.
Sable House is amazing. We've worked with them for years, just as a family too. And they have been helping my daughter as well. So they are amazing. And Liberty House. I can't say enough about Liberty House, and they serve all the way up to adults when the resources are necessary. And I'll just throw out one more thing. I'm hosting the table for Liberty House's yearly banquet on September 28th, and I have 2 seats still available to fill. So if you would like to attend their luncheon on September 28th, please let me know. But other than that, yeah, they're all doing good work, and we just our hope and prayers that everyone will see the importance of taking care of.
Yeah.
So, and I'll be just checking in periodically because that's just, as a mom, that's I know it's not always appreciated, but as a mom of 5, and that is my job, is to advocate for my kids and making sure that where they live is the people that are supposed to protect them are protecting them. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Commissioner Polk is excused for today. Looking for approval of agenda.
Just to make one slight change to item A under the consent calendar. Instead of homeless alliance, I'd just like for the minutes to read the Polk County Coordinated Homeless Response System, just not get those two confused. That was my fault. And with that amendment, I'll move to approve the agenda.
Okay. I'll second that with those changes. And all those in favor, please say
Aye.
aye. Aye. Motion passes. Approval of minutes from August 17th.
I'll move.
Second that. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Approval of consent.
So move.
Second that. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that brings us to the highlight of today's meeting. Polk County Tourism Alliance report. Emily, come on up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They're making you do this solo? There's two chairs.
From way back.
Good morning, commissioners. Thank you for having me this morning. I guess first of all, can you hear me okay up here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, I am here to present on the first quarter of my work since starting with Polk County Tourism Alliance and Travel Salem. So to kick us off, I can control this, right?
Yeah, you just have to scroll down.
Oh, perfect. Let's straighten that out. So to start off, I'm not going to read every one of these numbers to you, but there are a couple that I want to point out to you. So the first one that I want to point out is that leverage number. And to define that a little bit better, that is defined as money that was spent that Polk County was able to benefit from, but that didn't come out of the pocket of Polk County Tourism Alliance. So for the first quarter, that totaled almost $8,000, which is pretty substantial. That is that first number for you. And then the other number I want to point out is the number of businesses contacted, 52 for my first few months here. And I also want to point out that that does not include stakeholders and different tourism partners. So that's businesses exclusively, not like the chambers or other community organizations or the cities. But there's a comprehensive list at the end of my report, which should be in your packets. So starting off with destination development initiatives, I was able to attend a handful of events this year or this fourth quarter. One of them being Joyride, which starts and ends in Independence. It's hosted by Cycle Oregon, and it's one of their bigger rides of the year. They have 4 or 5 throughout the year across the whole state. And so there's one right in Polk County, and visitors come from all across the Northwest to do this ride throughout Polk County. I shared a table with Ramon at Like Indy to spread information about Independence and Polk County as a whole. I also attended a handful of trainings this year. So OSU Extension is offering an online agritourism course, and that's geared toward agricultural businesses or like existing agritourism businesses if they want to add an agritourism element or expand an existing element. But it was helpful for me to take it so that as I'm interacting with agritourism businesses and they tell me, oh, I'm interested to add this tourism aspect, then I'm able to help guide them through that and direct them to different resources available, as well as rules they're making sure they're following as far as zoning, what have you. I've also attended a few Travel Oregon events. So they hosted a boot camp in Jacksonville that was a few days right outside of Grants Pass. And that was a deep dive into different elements of destination development, networking with other destination development professionals across the state, and learning about different projects and opportunities and resources available. They also hosted this was my very first week on the job, a Northwest Oregon Destination Development Professionals social up in Portland. And so myself and my Marion County counterpart at Travel Salem attended that to kind of hit the ground running and introduce ourselves as now being within Polk County and within Travel Salem. Continuing on projects. So back in May, sorry, just to straighten this out as I go. Back in May, we hosted the Polk County Tourism Alliance Reconnect Summit. This was the first time since before the pandemic started that tourism-facing businesses and stakeholders were able to gather in person. So that's where Reconnect came from. It was fully sponsored as far as venue and catering, and it included the premiere of the Great Oaks Food Trail video, which I'll get into on the next slide. But we also had donated door prizes. And the big thing I want to point out in this one is that leverage number. So the leverage value for that was about $2,300. And we were able to have a handful of attendees, 47. Some more details for you about the Great Oaks Food Trail video. When the food trail was initially launched or established, it was early 2020. And there were launch events planned, but they weren't able to happen due to the onset of the pandemic. So this was to promote that and get that at the forefront of people's minds again. So that project, it highlights a handful of Polk County assets and tourism-facing businesses. And it also was very helpful for me being very early in my position as far as reaching out to people, introducing myself, reintroducing Polk County Tourism Alliance, and getting to meet them and interact with their business so that I can promote it to the best of my ability. So that was a cut and edited video. It's about 2.5, 3 minutes long. But that final point, the B-roll, is just additional footage that did not make it into the video that we'll be able to use for other social media posts, different video promotions, what have you. So all of that, the rest of the footage that didn't end up in the video is not just lost to the wind. Not handy, but I can pull it up on YouTube at the end if you'd like.
Email to the commissioners.
Yeah. Continuing on, currently underway, but started in June, is the Summer in Polk campaign. This is a social media campaign as well as a promotion of the Polk County Community Gift Card. Just a little refresher, and for those in the room who might not know, that is a e-gift card program that the gift card is only able to be used at Polk County businesses, and these businesses need to sign up to start accepting it. It does not cost anything to them besides usual credit card fees. So it's only Polk County businesses that are accepting of these cards. So the summer promotion is buy $25 and you get 5 for free, or buy 50 and you get $15 for free. That also includes social media promotion of businesses accepting the Polk County community card. That next point, Travel Salem itineraries, that is my Marion County counterpart on itineraries for different events happening this summer, including Ironman in Salem. And so I worked with her to make sure that Polk County was represented and promoted in those itineraries as well. So moving on to social media. I wanted to give an example of one of the campaigns we did. So that was Oregon Wine Month Wednesday. Essentially, May is Oregon Wine Month. So every Wednesday, I would post and feature a handful of Polk County wineries and promote them, talk about them. This screenshot that you're seeing was the final one. So that was kind of walking through the process of field to buying a bottle in a store or like having a glass of wine in a Polk County restaurant of Polk County wine. There was some great engagement there. So this example post of the results listed, the reach was 268 accounts, 44 accounts engaged, and 10 shares. And as you can see, that's about 32% higher reach and engagement from previous posts that may not be part of a concrete campaign. Other social media things that Polk County has been able to benefit from. So I've been heavily using Instagram stories as a tool of outreach. It seems that businesses tend to interact there the most. So I essentially look at Explore Polk County Instagram more than my own Instagram at this point, and I watch through all the stories to see any updates businesses might have, any special promotions going on, and share those accordingly. And even when I'm like really getting into the nitty gritty of Instagram here now, but if a business is tagged and they share that the fact that they were tagged, I go to that original posting account and interact with it there too of thanks for coming to Polk County, like glad you enjoyed your time. So that when they come back to, they follow Explore Polk County and see future offerings so that they do come back in the future. Travel Salem recently hired a social media coordinator, and I've been working closely with her to make sure that Polk County is featured in Travel Salem social media as well. And you can see why with the numbers, why that is of benefit to us. So Explore Polk County, we have about 1,200 followers. Travel Salem is boasting about 14,000 at this point, and I think that's grown at this point. I assembled this at the end of July. And then even with Facebook, the difference is even larger with about 800 followers for Polk County and about 41,000 for Travel Salem. And so having Polk County featured in Travel Salem posts is almost 220,000 impressions, which is obviously a lot. The other social media thing I've been working on is an industry close friends pilot. So what that is on Instagram, you can share a story to everyone who may or may not follow you, or you can share it with a select group of close friends, they're called. And so I've been using that to share industry specific information. So for example, the Polk County Tourism Reconnect Summit, that's not something that a visitor would attend, but we still want to make sure businesses know about it. So sharing that to the close friend story, as well as any grant opportunities that might become available, chamber events for networking, anything along those lines would go on the industry close friend story. So that brings us to the end of this presentation. As I said, there's a comprehensive list of all of the businesses and organizations I've been able to reach out to in my report in your packet. But that's what I've got for you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Well, I don't have any questions. I've been fairly aware of what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. And you really hit the ground running, getting to know people, getting to know organizations, and really appreciate your dedication to the work. And you're hitting on all aspects, you know, Main Street businesses, agritourism and the agricultural industry, wineries. I'm curious if you've been able to present to Western Oregon, like student groups or anything like that.
Yes. So
obviously most of the sort of tourism activity is with visitors to families and things like that. We really want to branch out and say, hey, Polk County is actually a cool destination for people outside of the county that might just want to come here for various reasons. So
yes.
So if you have anything to say about the Western presentations or other interactions.
Yeah, so that's something you will see on next quarter's report. Is in July, I was able to attend WU's orientation and give the part of the welcome speech to new students and parents, as well as do some tabling there. And I was actually able to meet with WU student engagement yesterday about some of their upcoming events where there tends to be a lot of visitors, parents, siblings, what have you, and how Explore Polk County can engage there.
The students can be great ambassadors.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks. Great job.
Thank you.
You have been everywhere. I haven't seen much of you. you, but.
I actually was at Aspenwall a couple weeks ago, and I think you might have been there having lunch with someone. And I was like, I think that's Commissioner Moorhorse, but you looked like you were in quite the meeting. So I was like, I'm not going to interrupt right now.
I just want to hats off to Raul saying teaming up with Polk County Alliance. That's working out really well, I think, for both of us. It's a great asset having able to team up and being in your office. So, have you contacted all the business associations in the county yet? One every you might want to touch. Can I get in front of what business association
Okay.
and Gallup as well? And I think we have contact from all of them.
Yes. So, sorry, go ahead and finish it.
Just catch up all the events going on and then make sure that they're aware of our events. So we have Polk County.
Yes. So, yes, that's a good note. To answer your question, I have been in contact with the Monmouth and Independence Chambers as well as the Monmouth Business Association. As far as West Salem business, my Marion County counterpart and I have been dividing and conquering since City of Salem is one of Travel Salem's funders. She is kind of taking the lead on West Salem so that any engagement that Polk County is able to get with West Salem is more coming out of the City of Salem's pocket, so to speak, instead of Polk County Tourism Alliance, if that makes sense.
And then Dallas has the Downtown Association.
Yep.
And Salem or Dallas Chamber. So. Our great asset here at Dallas.
She really is.
Thank you for all you're doing.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Just mention, I know we were just doing fourth quarter report, but just a little tease about the fundraising.
Yeah, so next quarter, I'll have some reporting on fundraising to report to you as well. I'm getting those asks underway as far as organizing who these asks are best to go out to, the best way to phrase it, really building the groundwork of relationships so that there's interest to invest in Polk County Tourism Alliance.
Those relationships take time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I think I'm good. Great job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Don't work too hard.
Thank you too for coming over and supporting it from way back there. So at this time, we have a need for an executive session.
Yes, sir. The board will now meet in executive session from the ORS 190-2660. Go to D, to conduct deliberations on persons designated by the governing body to carry on labor negotiations, and sub E, to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body